Hi Aries, welcome to your August 2021 astrological forecast. The Sun and Mercury actually are both in Leo, still your fellow fire sign. Where you have Leo in your chart is your fifth house of fun and romance, creativity, gambling, speculation. So you're still in the mood to do all of these things. Any kind of time possibly that you can spend with your children. Maybe you're doing something like that right now. But having the Sun and Mercury here, the Sun's here up until like the 21st and Mercury's here up until the 10th. So you still have these planets here. You can still have some fun. Squeeze it in there even once they move though from your fifth house into your sixth house. I'm pretty sure you can force yourself to still have some fun. Okay, there's a new moon on the 8th in Leo in your fifth house. So this is a new beginning in this area of your life, right? So either you're, I don't know, turning over a new leaf in a current romance, or you are beginning a new romance with someone by professing your love, or at least letting them know that you like them a little bit, right? So any area here, the creativity, fun, anything to do with your children or anyone else's children, the arts, even any form of entertainment, even physical like dance, or visual like let's say going to a play or something like that. But this is a time when you actually feel like moving around a little bit and have a little bit of fun, so you might actually do some dancing. And it could be a kind of like a small trip to visit, like a day trip or an overnight trip to visit some kind of, I don't know, museum or a national park or some kind of place where you can explore, or a place like a casino or something, some kind of place where you could gamble. So around this new moon of the 8th begins a new beginning in all of these areas of your life. Okay, if there, you can choose at least one in there, and you know, it could be just something happening as far as romance goes, because this is the big romance house. It could be just like a new start, even in a current relationship that you've had for a while, or a new beginning to a project that you've been working on, something creative, something or other. Okay, there's another full moon in Aquarius. There just was one, okay, but there actually is, okay, on the 22nd, where you have Aquarius in your chart is your 11th house. It's directly across from your fifth house of Leo. So I don't think this is any kind of really big deal. Both Jupiter and Saturn are back in Aquarius in your 11th house. They're both retrograde. Every planet is retrograde except for Uranus, which actually turns retrograde on the 19th. Yeah, and then everything will be, the outer planets, from Jupiter through Pluto, will be in retrograde motion. All that means is things in, wherever they're transiting, things in that area slow down a little bit. But it's also a time for you to review what has happened or occurred or whatever in that house, okay, in your chart. It gives you the opportunity, though, to change your mind and even dig a little deeper and find out more information. So your 11th house, where you have the sign of Aquarius, is your house of your friends and your most sociable house. Okay, it's where you would normally go to hang out, the people you hang out with, any kind of organization that you belong to. It's also socializing on social media. So around that full moon, you could have, if you are online, you know, posting something or other, you could have a little bit of a run-in with someone who just kind of rubs you the wrong way. It could actually be someone maybe that you used to date, just because this is occurring directly opposite your fifth house of Leo. Could be an old friend or somebody that used to hang out in your crowd. They weren't necessarily a friend of yours, and you only tolerated them because they were a friend of a friend. So they were there. They were just there. So one of these people could make like a very brief appearance around this full moon. So it's not like a very big deal. You could actually even have a little bit of a tiff or whatever with a friend, even with a close friend. But it still doesn't seem to be a very big deal. And what it looks like to me is it could even be about your choice of romantic partners, or anything that you're doing that is fifth house related. Again, we're back to that. Okay, so it could even have something to do, let's say, like with your children. If you have children, somebody could just make some kind of remark about, I don't know, how you're raising them, or what you let them do, or what you let them get away with, or whatever. Anyways, okay. So, on, let's see here, on the 11th, Mercury moves into Virgo, okay, and the Sun moves into Virgo on the 22nd, and where you have Virgo in your chart is your 6th house. Now, up until this point, though, up until like the 16th, okay, Venus is still in Virgo, so you'll have the Sun, Mercury, and Venus in your 6th house of the workplace, your co-workers, the kind of work that you do, your work schedule. It's also your house of service, and it's also the house of small pets, and many other things, okay? But it's also your house of health. So this might be the time of year, every year, where you get some kind of checkup, or you decide to start doing something healthy, take up some kind of some form of exercise, or change your eating habits, or do something. You know, you're doing possibly something for your own benefit, but it might be because there is a perk possibly coming from your employer, that this is the big thing now, where if you take care of yourself and even have like all these tests done, or just to see how healthy you are, you can get a discount on your health insurance through your employer, and other kind of perks. So that might be the incentive for you right now. You know, you might think it's a good idea for something like that. You know, the planet Mars is in Virgo like all month. Okay, so it's going to be in your 6th house, you know, this whole month, and it just actually moved at the end of July into this area. So it's a very physically active planet, so it would make you feel kind of very energetic. You know, if you don't do anything physical, like as far as exercise goes, or dance, or walking, or riding a bike, or something like that, you may really feel like taking up something like that right now. Okay. As for the workplace and the kind of work that you do, you have a lot of ambition anyway. Mars is your ruling planet, so wherever it's transiting, you know, it really brings out the best in you, because it is your planet. So you have a lot of incentive right now, and a lot of energy put into some kind of job that you're doing, even if it's not something that you do for a living. You could possibly be creating something like different. You know, you have the planet Uranus transiting in your 2nd house of Taurus, okay? And 2nd house is how you earn your money. It's income through work. So your ways of earning money, or different forms of bringing in sources of income, are changing, and they're becoming a little bit different, or even unusual for you. Okay, could be unusual for everyone, how you're earning money. It may not be your main source of income right now, but you're working on it. Okay, so, and it looks like the outcome is to be like self-supportive, be your own boss, own your own company, do your own work, whatever. Okay, so this gets kind of like an extra burst of energy right now, and having Venus here makes you very approachable and able to approach, let's say, both sexes, okay, with anything that you need, any kind of cooperation that you need, let's say, like even from your co-workers right now. they're really willing to help you in whatever it is, that if you need help with your job that you do with them, or your job, or whatever it is, some kind of project that you have on the side. But your relationships with your coworkers when Venus is here is usually really good. And you may even spend time with them, not just at work, but after work, socializing with them, or something like that. You could have a little bit of a romance going there, but I really don't see it. It just looks like, who knows, though? You could have your eye on someone, who knows, or maybe find out that someone has their eye on you. With Mercury here, it does, especially when Mercury's in Virgo, and that is the ruling planet for Virgo, it does really well, and it's moving in direct motion. So whatever you're learning, or any kind of instructions, or new software, anything that you're learning on the job right now is really sinking in. It seems that, you could even be after a, not just a better position, but a position that maybe you've had your eye on for some time. The planet Pluto is in Capricorn in your 10th house of career. It's been here for a really long time. I've mentioned I don't know how many times that your career more or less has changed over the years, or has you have changed the way your career is done, and not just for yourself, but your peers or other people who do have the same kind of livelihood as you. You've created something new, or taken something away within that field, and other people have adopted it. So you've helped to change, like, a large group of people doing the same kind of work that you do, but you've changed the field in some way or other for the better. Okay, so right now with Mars here, and it will trine this Pluto in your 10th house, it looks like maybe you're making your big move as far as that position that you've wanted, or even getting rid of somebody that was in your way, such as a boss, or a client even, or something or other, but the Mars here is pretty aggressive, especially with all these other planets, the Sun and Mercury and Venus. It's kind of crowded right now, so I would have to say that you're making some kind of progress, or making some kind of big move in the workplace. If you're retired, or you don't work at all, there's still something going on here in regards to service to others. Okay, this is what I call it. It's a 50-50 thing. It's when you do something for someone else because they need help, so they ask you to do whatever for them, and you also need help, and so you ask them to do whatever for you. So you both benefit in some way or other. It works out well, and this arrangement usually comes from necessity of some kind or other. Sometimes, maybe whoever it is, works, and they need you to watch their kid, during these hours or something like that, and maybe your car isn't running and you need rides to and from work or anywhere, something like that. So this could be, if you don't have an arrangement like that, this could be a time when something like that actually pops up, begins. Okay, something like that may begin. Okay, so on the 16th, Venus moves into Libra. Okay, and Mercury moves here on the 30th, all the way at the end of the month. So we'll cover that next month, because it's really not going to have too much of an impact on you, unless you're born like the very first 2 days or whatever of the sign of Aries. So, Libra's your opposite sign. It will be in your 7th house. That's where you have the sign of Libra. And it'll be directly across from your sun or rising sun or whatever planets you have in Aries. So it's any other time, you had other things going on here at one time, but this is all you have right now is Venus and Mercury. Not a big deal for you. It just means that you'll have a lot more conversations with your a close friend. The 7th house is close relationships and partnerships, so a business partner or a romantic partner. It's sometimes like the sun will move here eventually, and that's kind of like when you start to review your relationship with whomever. And you know, it is a time where, especially with Venus being here, you have a lot more, or spend, or at least try to spend a little bit more time with someone that you're very close with. But if it is romantic, it would be like your spouse, or whomever that that you see that is somebody that's like pretty important to you. Let's put it that way. So the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Aries on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Libra, and those dates are the 11th, 12th, and 13th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, gambling, or speculation, or anything to do with children is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The best time for money is the 1st, 14th, 15th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. The best time for your career is the 18th and 19th, and the best time for communication and travel is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 16th, 17th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. So I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for August. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Check out my weekly forecast. Check out Ask Me a Question. It's in the description below there. There's a link. There's also a link there to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. And I will see you next week. Goodbye.